The air in the Mammoth Stadium was thick, heavier than the velvet ropes guarding the entrance ramp. Thousands of breaths were held, synchronized in a collective, deafening omerta. It was a silence that didn't just predate the noise. It demanded it. Backstage, under the harsh, buzzing fluorescent light, the Phoenix stood, her shadow immense against the cinder-block wall. Her hands, wrapped tautly, trembled only slightly, not from fear, but from the immense gravity of the moment. She didn't look at the screen showing the vacant ramp. She only listened to the profound, aching quiet, knowing it was the last stillness she would ever truly know. Then it shattered. A single, low piano note, amplified to fill the cavernous space, struck the silence like a dropped stone. It was followed by a subtle, rhythmic thump-thump, the sound of a beating heart, slow and deliberate. On the screen, the camera zoomed in on the black curtains. A wave of nervous energy rippled through the lower tiers, a collective inhale. The atmosphere pivoted instantly from anticipation to pure primal hysteria. She adjusted the championship belt slung over her shoulder, the polished metal cold against her skin. This was not a contest of strength. It was an unveiling of destiny. Bro, Hi Wo Rampar Ai, Pura Arena Hill Gaia. The curtains parted, and a supernova of sound erupted. The single spotlight became a 1,000-watt blast, framing her perfectly. Her entrance was less a walk and more a slow, deliberate march against the tide of chaos she commanded. The animation shows a simple figure, yet the attitude is palpable. Head held high, shoulders back, eyes locked straight ahead. She wasn't just walking. She was reclaiming lost ground, measuring the distance between her past struggle and this triumphant present. Every step was a final, confident declaration. Fans literally jumped car Rehi phone Zuper, Sab Basekai Cheese Ball Rehi this is a champion. The roar wasn't just noise. It was validation, a chorus of faith redeemed. Every screen in the arena flashed her silhouette, a minimalist icon elevated to legend. They reached out, not just for a touch, but for a connection to the impossible confidence radiating from her. Her walk, her attitude, her confidence, it was boss level. For a fleeting second, the minimalist animation showed the silhouette of a small child in the front row, tears streaming down its face, utterly captivated by the manifestation of pure, unyielding resolve. Backstage, the rival faction watched from the monitor, not with hatred, but with a cold, unsettling dread. Their leader, the Shadow, stood rigid, the glow of the screen reflecting in her eyes. The noise from the arena was a physical weight, shaking the very foundation of the room. "Look at them," the Shadow whispered, her voice dangerously even. "They don't see a fighter. They see a myth." The pressure wasn't about winning a match. It was about destroying a legacy built on hope. The arena's love was now a liability, a target painted on the Phoenix's back. The fight had become existential. In a quiet corner, away from the media scrums and hurried security, an older man, her father, sat watching the feed on a tiny phone. He didn't cheer. He just watched her face, his expression a complex mix of pride and agonizing worry. He knew the cost of that confidence, the years of silent struggle, the injuries that never quite healed. The Phoenix on screen was a spectacle. His daughter, the girl who still called him when she was lonely, was hidden beneath the persona. He saw the flicker of something profound in her eyes, a strange, almost resigned certainty, as if she already knew the shocking moment that was coming. Meanwhile, the media room descended into pandemonium. The sudden, overwhelming nature of the Phoenix's entrance had broken every pre-planned narrative. Pundits scrambled, tearing up scripts, frantically typing new headlines. They dissected the 3-second walk, the slight turn of her wrist, the calculated glare searching for hidden meaning, a psychological crack. This was not just a match. It was cultural shorthand for defying expectations. The phones were buzzing, social media feeds exploding. The walk was already a meme, a movement, a defining moment that transcended the sport. The world was now utterly fixated on what she would do next. But amidst the clamor, a quiet, almost forgotten commentator leaned into his microphone. "She looks too calm," he murmured, his voice cutting through the noise. "She has that look, the look of someone who has already crossed the finish line." It was a whisper of doubt that planted a dark seed of curiosity. If her victory was so certain, why the profound, almost mournful confidence? Why the slow, final gaze at the upper deck? The crowd noise muted momentarily, focusing only on the subtle heartbeat sound again. Something felt complete, concluded, but the game had only just begun. She reached the center of the ring, the blinding lights making the rest of the arena a dark void. She didn't pose for the crowd. She simply stood, unmoving, until the roar subsided to a low, expectant hum. "Ortab, ek shocking moment hua haisa kisi ni expectai nahi kia watch till end." She slowly raised the championship belt she was wearing and, with deliberate care, placed it gently in the exact middle of the mat. Then she took a small microphone offered by a ring official. Her voice, usually a commanding shout, was a soft, almost tender declaration. "This is not mine anymore," she whispered, the words echoing through the huge arena, silencing the last pockets of noise. "It belongs to the next champion." She didn't drop the mic. Instead, she took off her wrist wraps, looked directly into the camera, and offered a simple, gentle smile. "I'm done. I walked in like a champion, so I could walk out like a human." The crowd froze. The animation shows her silhouette walking away, leaving the belt behind, the gold medal shining under the spotlight, not as a prize, but as a symbolic weight she had finally chosen to shed. The ultimate victory wasn't winning the fight. It was realizing she was already enough without the crown.